Welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3 Friendship is Magic. My name is JRandall0308, and in this series I forcibly befriend a variety of monsters and NPCs to bring them completely under my control with the power of PolyDom. In the first video, after a lot of explanation, I finally made my first friend, Anders the fake paladin of Tyr. He's a fitting follower for my charlatan backgrounded sorcerer with the snake-like head and the silver tongue. I won't bore you with too much non-PolyDom playtime, but see this cutscene with the Dream Guardian? Do you notice anything about her? And I don't mean the complete bait and switch the game pulls about who she really is. No, I mean the fact that you cannot choose a Dragonborn as your Guardian. Yes, I know the game's technical and financial reasons for the lack of Dragonborn Guardians, but as a lover of the second D in D&D for 40 years, I am still disappointed every time my Dragonborn character dreams of a non-Dragonborn Guardian. Oh, the humanity, Dragonity? My character is so saddened by his dreams that he needs more friends to cheer him up. So, for my second friend, I'll confront another one of the early game's difficult encounters, the Harpies. These singing sirens are usually sidestepped with silence or with calm emotions. Both of those approaches are way too sensible for me. Instead, I'm going to charge in and trust to Anders's and my great wisdom saving throws. In my first attempt, my character immediately fails his save against the Harpy song and gains the lured condition. I see the dreaded can't control on my screen. He's then critically hit for 28 damage. Yikes! Anders, meanwhile, rolls a natural 20 on his saving throw. During this fight, Anders knocks a Harpy down to 1 hit point with an attack and has to use Reaction Divine Smite to finish it off. Later, he uses the Attack Divine Smite to knock another Harpy down to 1 hit point, which requires another Reaction Divine Smite to finish it off. I should have had Anders dip his sword in a candle, but that's annoying to set up because polydomed creatures cannot drop objects out of their inventory. Instead, you have to drop the candle from your character's inventory, light it, and place it within dipping range of the friend. Eventually, there's only one Harpy left. Time for the polymorph. 91% success chance, and she makes the save, because she rolled an 18, with disadvantage. At this point, I could have fled the combat and returned after a long rest with a fresh 4th level spell slot. But I don't want to do that, because I've heard that fleeing the fight will cause the death of Murkon, the poor tiefling boy. As a Tom Sawyer-like friend to urchins everywhere, I cannot allow this outcome. So I shamefully reload to try the fight again. The battle plays out similarly, and I isolate the last Harpy. This time, my character quaffs an elixir of Battle Mage's power to raise the polymorph success rate to 98%. I would say I'm not taking any chances, but apparently I am, because I forget to use the Shriek from Falar Aluve to further debuff the target's saving throw. Fortunately, this time PolyDom goes off without a hitch. Wait, let's watch that again in slow-mo. Check out the bird lady flapping her way out of camp. Unfortunately, when I exit camp, Murkon is dead. Even though all of the Harpies were either defeated or forcefully befriended, why does Murkon die here? The answer is in the scripts that control this area. I'm not Slim X, so I'll probably get some of this wrong, but here's my understanding. One section of the script is helpfully commented, NPC left charmed in Harpy Den while Harpy is still alive means he is killed. By NPC, they mean poor Murkon. This part of the script says that when all the players have left the den, the game should do a check for the aptly named HarpyMeal. Assuming you really have left the den, which is the game's internal label for the Emerald Grove area, then the game removes Murkon's kid-based immortality and causes him to die. It also teleports Murkon's body to the Harpy's cliff, which is why he's there after I return from polydoming the Harpy. Given that I am dead set on having a Harpy friend, that also makes Murkon super dead. Sorry, little buddy. I pick up his corpse in case it's useful later. As for the Harpy, she has an insane 32 meters of movement speed, except when she uses the fly action because that's how Larian coded it. She does have a cool-looking claw attack animation, and the big attraction is her luring song, which I'm about to show you in action. I continue my tour of early game difficult fights with the Risen Road Gnolls. I've given my friends Scrolls of False Life. These are fairly plentiful, cheap, and 7 hit points is a decent cushion at this stage of the game. I've also equipped the Harpy with the Spell Thief Bow, not because she can use its Arcane Vehemence power, but because it's another item on the Gale buffet. She already has the Sharp Rock ability, but I want her to have a ranged weapon for a reason you're about to see. My character strolls up to the grossly distended hyena, and because he's such a friendly guy, he can't bring himself to curb stomp her. Instead, he watches in horror as a gnoll rips its way out of her. Seriously, how the heck did that gnoll fit inside the hyena? It's about 3 times as large as she is. Time for my Harpy friend to sing her song. That is a big area of effect, 25 meter radius. It's so big that it catches 3 enemies that aren't even in this combat yet. Lured enemies who fail to save are forced to approach the Harpy. One of them charges past Anders, which provokes an opportunity attack that I happily take. The damage does break the lured condition, but it's still free out-of-turn damage. Also in this battle, I remember to drop a candle for Anders to use, and the fire damage immediately pays off. On the Harpy's turn, I discover that she cannot use Sharp Rock while she's singing. That's because of how Sharp Rock is coded. It cannot target any creature in the Luring Song aura, regardless of whether they made the save or not. Conceptually, the Harpy focuses on her song until she fully lures a creature adjacent, then rips it apart with her claws. Wow, 46 plus 2 slashing damage is no joke when you roll well. In actuality, I already knew that the Harpy can't use Sharp Rock while singing. That's why I gave her the Spell Thief bow. She can shoot the bow just fine while singing, because the limitation on her attacks is a property of her specific powers, not attacks in general. The Harpy has no shooting animation though, so after a pause, the bow damage just appears, or not when she misses. As for Anders, he hasn't completely stopped singing the Leave Them Alive at 1 hit point blues. Here, he uses a bonus action Pommel Strike in an attempt to finish off this enemy, and crits, but for not quite enough damage. Later in the fight, I noticed that the Harpy cannot attack this lured enemy with her multi-attack. Why not? Is it because the enemy is also dazed? This is the kind of vital information that I'll normally take hours to research, but even I have to admit that a complete understanding of the interaction between Luring Song and Dazed is not a good use of my limited time on this earth. With the Risen Road Gnolls defeated, I move on to the cave area. The Flind eagerly strikes up a conversation. She has the most luxurious arm hair of anyone I've ever seen, so I can't bring myself to get in a fight with her. I think she should feast on the meat in the cave. Nailed it! After a quick meal, she's still super hungry, so I tell her to feast on the other Gnolls. The Flind immediately paralyzes a Gnoll hunter. Unfortunately, this is only a 1-turn paralysis that wears off at the beginning of the hunter's turn. With the Harpy and Anders both at the bottom of the initiative order, my friends have no way to take advantage of the paralysis. Here you see my character cast Hypnotic Pattern. Those of you who watched episode 1 will remember that one of my rules is that my character cannot attack. Technically, Hypnotic Pattern lacks the is harmful spell flag, so that means technically it's not an attack. Or at least that's how I justify it to myself in this encounter. Later in the series, I'm more of a rule follower regarding I cannot attack. Shortly thereafter, the Harpy sings her song, which sets up Anders for a nice drive-by opportunity attack. Meanwhile, the Flind unloads a 39-point crit onto a 1-hit point hyena. There's no kill like overkill. Anders drops the last regular Gnoll, and the Flind turns to me once again. She's still hungry. I want to tell her to wait a bit for her food to settle, but weirdly that's not a conversation option. Clearly this Flind needs direction in her life, which is exactly the sort of friendship I offer. The setup for PolyDom here is awkward because a paralyzed Anders prevents combat from ending. Eventually I get things sorted out and marvel at my Flind friend, who doesn't have any abilities. This is a good example of how a quick save and quick load is often necessary to complete the PolyDom process. Now the Flind got her mojo back. Before I close out, sharp-eyed viewers will have noticed that when Anders got paralyzed just before I polydomed the Flind, he lost his Aura of Protection. That's because Aura of Protection is removed by anything that counts as incapacitated, and paralyzed is on that list. For a normal paladin, this would be no big deal, you'd simply turn the Aura of Protection on again. But for a polydomed paladin, you don't have the ability to turn the aura back on. The next time you see Anders, he has his Aura of Protection again. That's because I shamefully reloaded to ensure he didn't get incapacitated. Going forward, I'll do a better job of playing fair-ish. Next time, I head to the Sunlight Wetlands to visit the nice old woman who lives there. I hope you're enjoying Baldur's Gate 3 Friendship is Magic. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.